There is an emotional root cause behind every single body part. And it's really cool where you can play detective with your own life and go, why was I an energetic match to get this thing? I'm able to clock this quick. Imagine how much power you are now going to hold getting tools around figuring out the root cause. You are always attracting energy into your life. The question is, what can you be mindful about attracting? I'm Shannon Bills, mindset mentor, energy healer, and intuitive reader. And today, we're having mindfulness for breakfast. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I am going through some reflections, some physical reflections right now. And I'm pretty sure I've talked about reflections on the podcast, but if not, here is a nice little summary. Our outside world is always reflecting back our internal state. Our internal state of being is a series of beliefs, how we view ourselves, how we view what is going on outside of us, where our self-worth is at, where our self-love is at. And the outside world is always mirroring that. That is a reflection. So sometimes reflections are good. Maybe you've been doing so much inner work on yourself. You've been boosting your confidence. You've been feeling really good. And you are getting all of these compliments in your outer reality. You're like, wow, the work is working. And sometimes they are not so fun reflections, like spilling coffee on yourself, or having a flat tire, or getting in a car accident, or getting sick. And right now, I am going through a couple of different reflections. I've never really thought about my body in a negative way. And I think in the last year, I've kind of been more aware of where I'm now judging my body, how I look in a new pair of jeans, or how I look around my friends that are a little bit skinnier than me. And I'm so aware that my energy is no longer the energy that I used to feel with my body, which was like, I feel great, I feel confident, I feel sexy. So the way that this was reflected back to me and my current internal state was very in my face this past weekend. Summer's here. So we are now in bikini season and bathing suit season, and we are going to pool parties and beach parties. And I'm sure a lot of people on here also were like, oh God, like it's time to just flaunt what we have. And I have been so aware that the thoughts I have felt around any sort of pool party, beach party have been more negative and more fear-based around, I'm not what I want to look like. I'm going to be with all my really skinny friends, and how am I going to feel? This is what's been coming up for me recently. And if you are watching this right now on YouTube, you will notice that I have a nice, cute little mark on my arm, on my shoulder. That is a burn from my curling iron that I got this weekend. And that was a reflection. The second it happened, I didn't point fingers outward going, oh, darn you, curling iron. Instead, I was like, oh, okay. This is something I caused. This is something my energy caused. This is something my higher self wants to show me to kind of give me a little warning around what's been going on in my head. That was my first sign. And so the way that I like to play detective with my own reflections is a couple of things. I'll give you some basics right now. Every single body part has an energetic meaning behind it. So, for instance, like your lower back has to do with money. Your stomach has to do with worrying over the past. Headaches is unnecessary pressure on yourself. A burn, like the burn I got on my right shoulder shoulder is immense amount of pressure. And a burn is built up anger. So how do I know this? This is something I have learned from my intuitive healers. There is an emotional root cause behind every single body part. And it's really cool where you can play detective with your own life and go, why was I an energetic match to get this thing? And I take it from that approach. So I was like, okay, shoulder is pressure on myself. Burn is built up anger. Right side of my body is masculine energy. So that has to do with what I am giving out. Masculine energy is forward energy, where left side of your body is feminine energy. So that has to do with intuition. That has to do with not surrendering enough. You learn this after a while, and it helps you crack the code as to why something is going on in somebody's body. Now, that's one major piece of somebody's puzzle. In the modern world, most people are going to doctors and they are getting their medicine and they are getting their x-rays and they are getting surgery and they have all of these different treatments in place to cure that thing. Do I think that is equal parts of the equation of healing? Totally. I do. I think that everything has a physical component, which is where that comes from, and everything has an energetic component, which is what I'm trying to bring more awareness to. And when you can add that to your healing journey, you're able to speed up your healing faster. You're able to see why you were a match to get these things. So burn on my right shoulder led me to all of these clues around how I've been viewing myself and what I've even been giving off through my words. Like, I'll give you an example. This weekend, I went to a swimsuit event with a friend and we were supporting another friend's swimsuit line. And I was very aware that I was going to be around stunning, gorgeous women that are probably size 0s and 2s and have 6-packs and maybe don't worry about what they look like in a bikini. Maybe they do. I don't know, right? I don't want to assume. But I, right off the bat, was creating these stories in my head and I was curling my hair for the event. That is where I got burnt, on my arm. So I was aware of all of these thoughts going in, and when I was curling my hair was when I burned myself. And I have never, I've curled my hair how many times in my life? I've never burned myself. I think I have maybe on my fingers before, but never on my arm. Like, that's never happened to me. So I know that this was a reflection. I know this is something that my higher self was like, hey, let's look at this. Let's look at the way that you are putting pressure on this situation. Let's look at the way that, like, there's maybe some built up anger around what your body looks like right now, and how can we release that? So that was me clocking that reflection, but it didn't go away because I was so aware of my thoughts when I was at this event, so much so that I was taking pictures of my friend who is just stunning, inside and out, just such a beautiful human. And she was like, let's take some pictures together. And my immediate response, the word vomit out of me, was like, oh no, girl, like, look at you. Like, I cannot be standing next to you right now. Like, you look amazing. I do not look great. And I couldn't even believe the words I was saying out of my mouth. I was like, Shannon, who are you? Like, you are a confident woman. You are somebody that really roots to how you look and honors it and loves it for what it is. And I was so aware that something was going on, right? The burn was showing me something. But then I got a second reflection. And that second reflection was yesterday. Yesterday was the day after the event. I woke up and I just had this like croupy cough where you could feel it in your lungs, where you're like, something's going on in the lungs. Well, lungs, the energetic meaning behind your lungs, is feeling smaller than we should in the world and not feeling like we're worthy of taking up space. And ding, 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 light bulb goes off. And here I am, instead of going, ugh, I feel horrible. Did someone get me sick? What happened? No, I put the finger right back to me and go, I created this. This is all mine. What is it showing me? And that's the saying I want you to start thinking about. I created this. This is all mine. What is it showing me? Like, it is data for you. And so I immediately was like, oh my gosh, root cause of the lungs, feeling smaller, not taking up enough space, not feeling worthy. That is exactly how I was feeling and how I was operating from at this beach event, at this bathing suit event. And I immediately started to think about where I do take up space and where I can take up more space, where I can feel that I am such a gift to every conversation, where I can feel powerful in the room that I'm in, where I can feel like it is an equal playing field. And I started to clock these moments, right, of where I feel I take up space, because the subconscious mind loves proof. I say this all the time on this podcast and in everyday work. The subconscious mind is meant to prove your beliefs true. So if I'm constantly going to root to, I don't feel great, she's gorgeous, I'm not, she's adorable in a bikini, I'm not, well, then my subconscious mind is always going to search for proof of how that is true. We don't want that to be the story. We see how that is affecting our energy. And hello, my lungs, it's showing up in these physical reflections. I don't want that. So I immediately started to clock where I feel worthy, where I feel I can take up space, where I feel like I'm not playing small, or in areas where I am playing small and not feeling worthy, how can I disprove that? How can I give the subconscious mind new coding and say, you know what, subconscious mind? I am worthy of being at this event. And people love talking to me. And people love hearing what I have to say. And people are interested in me. And people can see how magnetic I am. And I found proof points. Oh, that conversation with so-and-so. That conversation with so-and-so. Oh, that new friend that I made. That is what I had to do to reverse engineer my mind. Now, that's not just a one and done fix. This is something that I now am clocking every day for the next couple weeks until I fully feel in my bones again that I am worthy. The movie, what's that Amy Schumer movie? I think it was called I Feel Pretty. I Feel Pretty with Amy Schumer, and how she feels like, if you haven't seen the movie, it's a fantastic movie. It's hilarious, but it also has a really good message behind it. And it's all about how we view ourselves. And that alone does wonders for our energy and does wonders in how the world responds to us. So I kept thinking of that movie this weekend and being like, no, I need to feel it in my bones again that I am worthy of taking up space. We're leading to the same root cause of me being hard on myself going to these events, on me not feeling worthy of being there or taking up space or feeling like I don't contribute to a conversation, or shrinking myself down around people that I felt were untouchable. That doesn't serve me. And look, I'm able to clock this quick. Imagine how much power you are now going to hold, that you are now building this awareness around when you are out of alignment with what doesn't feel good. That is a massive gift, a massive strength, a massive talent. You are also now getting tools around figuring out the root cause. Now, I eventually am going to create a second program where anybody that wants to tap into a little bit more of the spiritual side of things, honing in on their intuition, learning how to clear dark energy off of them, learning how to get to the bottom of all these different emotional root causes in the body. Stay tuned for when that comes. I'm still getting my energy back from creating my 11-week course Shifts, which is a really great foundation for anybody wanting to dive into this work. But that being said, you have some basics right now. I think you figuring out masculine side versus feminine side is already a massive way to shift yourself. If the reflection is showing up on the right-hand side, that's the masculine energy. It usually means that you are either doing too much of it or doing too little of it. You will know. So masculine energy, those traits are confidence, or lack thereof, in my case, logic, assertiveness, leadership, action, strength, focus, achieving, like that forward, outward momentum, what you're giving out. And funny enough, what I was giving out is not confident for me to even say to my friend, oh yeah, no, I don't want to take a photo with you. You just do it. oh, I'm PMSing. Like I can't possibly look cute in front of you. That's so silly, right? Hence the burn, hence the lungs. So that's the masculine side of things. Then you have the feminine side of things, which is all about intuition, surrendering, creativity, emotional intelligence, empathy, compassion, nurturing. So if something's happening on the left side of your body, you can see, am I giving too much? Is there too much feminine energy happening, or is there not enough? So that's something I want you to be clocking right now when there is something physically happening to you. Is it on the left-hand side of the body? Is it on the right-hand side of the body? That's breakfast item number 1 today. You now have a massive tool to help decode what is going on inside of you, and you can shift it. You want to constantly prove the subconscious mind what you're wanting to feel instead. So I want to feel worthy. I want to feel like I take up space. I don't want to feel angry. I don't want to feel like there is pressure on how I view myself. So hopefully you're picking up what I'm putting down. That's breakfast item number 1. Breakfast item number 2. Going off of my reflection, I think that this is something that shows up in everybody's lives. We are taught to smile and nod and say thank you and not give an opinion and not talk about our feelings. Playing small is actually better, and not voicing out your opinions is actually going to get you to be more likable. We're taught that, and that is going to block your energy when you continue to subscribe to that rule. Maybe that is a lung thing. Maybe that is a throat chakra thing. To not speak your voice, to stand up for yourself, to feel worthy of taking up space. That is a block that I see in so many people's lives, whether that is with family, whether that is with friends, whether that is with their relationship, whether that is with their coworkers or their boss. I actually just had a call literally right before this with a client who is a freelancer and has a couple of different jobs, but one job, she really doesn't like this boss, and the boss does not pay her a lot. The boss is not the nicest to her, and she's so afraid to walk on, or I should say she is walking on eggshells around this boss. She is afraid of what they would say if she would quit. And I was like, well, whatever they say, it doesn't matter because you've quit. If they say, oh, you're a horrible person, you're never going to work again, who cares? They're out of your life. Sometimes we need to go that extra step with the ego to play that fear out and say, okay, well then what is the worst case scenario? They yell at me again, which I'm already expecting. Cool. I'm fine with that. That's why I'm leaving. That's more confirmation as to why I'm leaving. Anyways, that being said, in my call with her, I could tell that her energy was similar to mine in that not feeling worthy of taking up space, not feeling valuable. And that is a big block that I see in a lot of people's lives. And so your second breakfast item today, I want you to see your value. I want you to know how valuable you are to every single person in your life. I want you to see how it is an equal playing field with every energetic dynamic, any energetic relationship that you have existing right now. How can you make that an even playing field? How can I get you to see that it is an equal playing field, that that person has as equal value as you do and you hold an equal amount of value as that person? How can you feel like every room that you step into, you are making a difference? How can you see that you, by just being you as you are in this very moment, is adding value to so many things? I thought about it this morning. I was like, well, my dog, I feed him, I walk him, I play with him, I pet him. I am so much value to my dog. I have so much value to give to my clients. I have so much value to give to my husband. I have so much value to give to my parents. I call them, I make them laugh, I catch them up on my day. That is massive value that I'm providing. I want you to clock all of the value that you provide. I want you to see how it is safe to take up space. Let me know how it goes.